Junwoo. Someone was calling my name, through the sounds of mourning. No one in this village knows me. No one. And yet dozens of people in white funeral robes were calling my name. In the center, a casket lay open. The lid was half raised, and inside, something was waiting for me. 6 hours earlier, I got lost. My phone had no signal. The GPS stopped at the village entrance. The fog was so thick I couldn't see 3 feet ahead. I should have turned back. But the road behind me had already disappeared into the mist. That's when I heard it. The wailing. Low. Drawn out. Hollow. Like voices without souls. I don't know why I followed the sound. Maybe because it was the only proof that something alive existed in that fog. Or maybe the sound was pulling me. The village square appeared suddenly. No streetlights, no cars, no modern anything. Just stone houses with paper windows and people gathered in a circle. All facing the same direction. All dressed in white. In the center, a casket. Wooden. Simple. Old. The lid was open. I stepped closer. Inside. Nothing. Empty. Not even a cloth. Not even a name plaque. Just bare wood. Waiting. A funeral with no body. No. A funeral with no death. The people weren't crying. They were making the sounds of crying. Mouths moving. Voices wailing. But their eyes were dry. And all of them. All of them were watching the casket. Not each other. Not me. Just the casket. Like it was the only thing that mattered. Excuse me. Who died? The moment I spoke, all the wailing stopped. At once, like someone flipped a switch, dozens of faces turned toward me, slowly, in perfect unison. There was no grief in their eyes, no sadness, no pain. Only waiting. Expectation. As if the casket had been waiting for something, and I had just arrived. An old man with a cane stepped forward. His face was deeply lined. His back was bent. But his eyes were sharp. He leaned close. So close I could smell incense and earth on his clothes. He whispered in my ear, "Don't say your name." His breath was cold. I opened my mouth to ask why. He gripped my arm, harder than I expected. The casket hasn't chosen its owner yet. I looked at the casket again. It was just wood, just an empty box. But I swear it looked deeper than before, like it had gotten hungrier. Before I could ask what he meant, the old man turned and gestured to the others. "You'll have to stay here tonight." It wasn't a request. 2 men stepped forward and led me to a building at the edge of the square, the village hall. Inside, a single room, a mat on the floor, a window with no glass, just paper screens. The door closed behind me. I tried the handle. It didn't lock. But I could hear someone standing outside, breathing, waiting. I sat on the mat and tried to think. Tried to make sense of what I'd seen. An empty casket. A funeral with no body. A village that appeared out of nowhere. And that old man's words. The casket hasn't chosen its owner yet. What did that mean? Was someone going to die? Or had someone already died, and they just didn't know it yet? Hours passed. The fog outside grew thicker. I couldn't see the square anymore, couldn't see the casket, but I could still hear them. The wailing had started again, softer now, like a lullaby. Then, past midnight, the wailing stopped, and I heard something else, shoveling. The sound of dirt being moved. Scrape, scrape, scrape. And then, wood sliding against wood. I pressed my face to the crack in the wall. The casket I saw earlier now sat in the courtyard, right outside my window. The lid was still open. People were gathered around it, moving slowly, carefully, like they were performing surgery. One of them held something in their hands. My wallet, the one I must have dropped when I first arrived. They opened it, pulled out my ID card. held it up to the moonlight. I could see my face on it. My name. Then they folded a piece of paper, wrote something on it, and placed both items carefully inside the casket, like offerings. Under the moonlight, I saw it clearly. One name written on the paper. My name. My full name. In perfect handwriting. They closed my wallet and placed it beside the paper. Then they stepped back. All of them, staring at the casket, waiting. For what, I didn't know, but I felt it. Something was about to happen. That's when the wailing started again, but different this time, quieter, more focused, and mixed into the sound. A name. My name. Junwoo. It was barely a whisper at first, from far away, like wind through trees. Junwoo. Then closer. Louder. Junwoo. Clearer. I covered my ears. The old man's words echoed in my head. Don't say your name. But he didn't say anything about hearing it. The sound didn't stop. It got louder. Junwoo. It was coming from everywhere now. From the people outside. From the walls. From inside my own head. Junwoo. I pressed my hands harder against my ears, but the sound pierced through, like it was coming from inside me. Junwoo. And then, the sound of the lid. Wood scraping against wood. Slowly. Deliberately. And then, thud. The casket was closed.
The casket has found its owner. The path for death has been decided.
The wailing stopped. Completely. Like it had never been there. I looked through the crack again. The people were smiling now. Not sadness, not grief. Relief. Pure relief. Like a weight had been lifted. They had survived. In exchange, someone was chosen to die. The old man walked to my door, opened it slowly. He looked at me, and for a moment I saw something in his eyes. Pity, maybe even guilt. He bowed his head. I'm sorry. His voice was quiet, almost kind. But the village needs someone. It always does. Every year the casket chooses, and every year someone's name goes inside. He paused. This year, it chose you. I wanted to run, to scream, to do something, but my body wouldn't move. It was like the casket had already claimed me. The old man stepped back into the fog. Don't worry, it's painless. You just stop. And then he was gone. The next morning, the fog was gone. The village was silent. No wailing, no people, no casket. The square was empty, like nothing had ever happened. At the village entrance, I saw one new grave. Fresh dirt, no headstone, no name carved on it. The name was already inside the casket, buried with it. In front of the grave, my bag sat alone, untouched, waiting for no one. I stood there for a long time, staring at that grave, wondering if it was mine, wondering if I was still alive, or if I was just walking, moving, but already gone. Your ID card has your name on it, your full name, your face, your identity. If you lose it, where does it go? Into whose hands? Into what kind of box? And when they call your name, will you hear it? Or will you already be gone?